business arising from previous meetings. Gary, did you want to take that?
Okay, thank you, Reed. I provided a report to Council regarding radio advertisements. You recall that at the first Council meeting in June, Council approved additional resources for economic development. And part of that economic development list included some resources that we would like to embark on a radio advertising campaign. Councillor McGowan requested more information about the radio advertising plan that we were proposing. So I've outlined a proposal that both Connie and I support. It's one we received from CKNX Radio. The proposal would involve 3 different North Huron commercials. These would be written and produced by the station. They would run in rotation. The ads would start this week and end the last week of August. Buying in bulk gives us a bit of a discount, so we could get 180 commercials at $38 an ad. We're proposing to advertise on the FM station, which has a listening audience of almost 60,000 people. Has a very powerful, for those of you that travel around Midwestern Ontario, it has a very powerful signal that reaches a large geographic area from Tobermory to Grand Bend, Kincardine to Shelburne. So I'm looking for any discussion, questions. Hopefully Council will support our recommendation to engage CKNX Radio for this radio advertisement proposal. I should also clarify that the motion we received at the June 2nd Council meeting was not specific enough as to where the funds were going to come from. So I think there was discussion that the $17,000 that we were requesting would come from reserves, but the motion wasn't specific enough. So we'd like to get a motion just to provide more clarity and certainty, so have that on the books. And we'd also like to get a recommendation or a acceptance of my recommendation on the radio ads. Thank you.
Ron?
I have a question. I found it difficult to feel comfortable that the coverage of North Huron is complete. I wondered if it was, it doesn't really indicate to what extent all of the boards are covered by the insurance. But that's the only question I have about it. I think the idea of radio advertising is a positive one, but it's just a caution that I would like to make.
Bernie?
I got a few questions on it. First of all, I think the Blythe BIA advertise on CKNX. Now, I'm not sure. I know the Wingham BIA does, and local merchants do. And I believe this is, since you said this is coming under reserves, I believe, and we've never actually got the figures, but we have over $100,000 or $125,000 that we spend on advertising in our budget now with different departments. And, you know, we understand the flushing and all that, and then there's some of it, like we hear the place at the end of town advertising, the setup they have. I'm just not sure what you're going to advertise. We don't really have any industrial land to speak of to sell, so we can't really go there. Our main streets are pretty full, so we can't go there. I believe when it comes to the homes too, I don't think we've got a lot of land to sell homes on, so I'm just wondering if we're not premature in spending this kind of money to advertise, except for come to Wingham, which is obviously going to be in it. I'm just not, or sorry, North Huron, sorry, Brock. Except for coming to North Huron, I'm just not seeing the benefit of spending this. I'd rather see it put away for another day.
Okay, so just a couple of comments. I'm not sure the number that you quoted earlier is accurate. I don't believe that we're spending $125,000 in advertising. I think the number would be closer to 20 to 30.
Off the top of my head, I don't know, Gary, but I can certainly look it up for you.
I appreciate that. I mean, that is done, yeah.
But in terms of the purpose of the ads, I guess, you know, if you look at the successful brands, whether it's, you know, McDonald's, Tim Hortons, Google, Microsoft, you name it. Sometimes those companies advertise just to keep their company name in the limelight and to reinforce the positive brand that they have. So they're not advertising a particular sale or a particular product. They're just out there, and they're constantly advertising to make sure that they're projecting a positive brand of the company. And I think it's important that we adopt a similar strategy, whereby we make some investments in strategic marketing and radio advertising to project a certain image, not just to our residents, but to others who are living and working in Midwestern Ontario. There's a positive story to tell in North Huron. These ads would help us to tell that story. Whether we're selling anything or not, whether we've got some land to sell or land to buy, it's really about putting our name in the forefront, telling people we've got a good story to tell. There's lots going on here. Come and join us, be a part of our success. That's really all it's doing. But I think as part of that, it's enhancing civic pride. It's making our residents feel good about themselves. It's supporting our businesses and our BIAs. And I think it will help us build on the positive momentum that currently exists throughout the township. So granted, we're not selling anything or anything, but it's about branding. It's about municipal branding. And I think in today's global competitive marketplace, we need to do everything we can to project a positive image of what we're doing. We're competing with our neighbors for residents and doctors and investment. So let's put something out there that's very positive. That's my proposal.
Rob?
I'd like to make another comment. The situation that we're in with a very low population and high-cost services demands that we have revenue from elsewhere. And we need to get the word out beyond the boundaries of North Huron constantly to remind people that we're here. And we have a lot to offer. I think that's just carrying on with what Gary was pointing out. I think that's a really important thing. If we don't have this kind of advertising, people beyond our boundaries are going to hear very little about us.
Dave?
Yeah, I agree with advertising. I think it's really important, and we do have a story to tell, and North Huron's a great place to live. But the only question I have is if we're advertising in this area, are we broad enough? Should we be going further south or maybe further east to reach a wider audience and get more people to come here, rather than advertising, I'm going to call this local.
Certainly, we can go back and get some more information as to other markets that we can advertise. I think the issue is, which I've raised in the report, is it'd be great if we could advertise in London and Kitchener and Waterloo. I think we'll find that the cost per ads are rather prohibitive, and so we wouldn't be able to really make a big impact in those markets. But if that is where council would rather put resources, then we can go to those markets as well.
And if I could just, we're looking at summer advertising because we have a lot of visitors going through this area. And CKNX market certainly reaches a lot of those visitors. So, I mean, I have been in contact with some other radio stations in different areas, but people rarely move to a place they haven't visited. So at this point in time, we're looking at capturing those people that have enjoyed, maybe enjoying their cottage time, enjoyed their summer vacation, or enjoying, their time on the road with their family. And you know what? You can move here. You can experience this all the time. So that's really kind of what we're looking at with this summer market locally. But like Gary said, CKNX does have a very large listening audience. So.
Right.
Gary, have we got a price from Kitchener Station or North Station compared to it all, or do we just think that more expensive?
I wouldn't say we've got a precise number, but I think it's probably, what is it, $80 to $100?
Yeah, I kind of, like I said, I've been trying to talk to some other radio stations. They're a little bit slower at the game than so I can certainly continue to look at some of those.
that's council direction, we'll certainly pursue that. I think we would say that, or estimate that the cost per commercial would probably be 2 or 3 times what CKNX is charging.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, yeah.
But if that's where we'd like to go with that, then we can get more information. I feel it's important that these ads begin immediately so that we're making an impact sooner rather than later. That being said, if council would like more information, then we'll definitely get that information for you.
I
Rob?
make a motion that we accept this proposal for the radio ads, CKNX.
I'll second.
Okay. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor of the motion?